Welcome bitches, one and all, to my reaction to Season 4, Episode 6 of the Vampire Diaries. We all go a little mad sometimes. So, last time we had Elena enact her first kill, which was very sad to see because it's never nice watching someone break down over their regrets, you know? Now, we did also end the episode on Elena sort of hallucinating about the killing, so I do wonder, is this some kind of like variation of PTSD where she's just dealt with so much over the past few days that it's haunting her? Or is this a supernatural element? Is someone doing this to her? Is it something to do with killing the guy? Like, did he have a witch place a spell on him or something? What's going on here, you know? But yes, anyway, with that said, very excited to get into it and see where the story goes. So without further ado, let's go. Is it like continuously haunting her? Like she never gets a break? Because I feel like that would imply supernatural over just mental. Interesting.
You're not here. I've got to be dreaming.
And how do you know that I'm not here?
Because you're...
Oh, my darling.
You're haunting me. You're a ghost.
I was about to say, I think that it's going to be Jeremy when she comes to. Oh, fuck. Fuck. I mean, she's a vampire, so surely he'll be able to come back if he's wearing his ring, but holy fucking shit.
What am I going to say to him?
Thanks for not ditching the family ring after it drove her crazy.
Yeah, that's the other thing. It's like, Jesus Christ, thank God he's still wearing it.
I don't trust him right now, Damon.
Hey, P.S. I called Stefan.
I don't want your help right now, Stefan.
But you'll accept Damon's?
Don't make this about Damon. I don't know what to think, but I do know that I don't want to talk to you and I don't really want to be around you right now.
Stefan, the only way that you're going to be able to get through this is if you just tell her the truth. She's not going to accept anything less. And I think when you're in a relationship, especially with these two, where they're both vampires and they're immortal, you're going to have to learn to just tell each other the truth. Like, I do understand... to be honest, I don't understand why he's keeping it from her. I understand that Klaus asked him to, and if that's all that it is, then okay, understandable if he thinks that telling Elena, Klaus will go back on the deal and all that. Do you get what I mean? Like, I can understand that part, but is there more to it? Is he not telling Elena because he thinks that Elena won't want to go through with it? Because if that's the case, then surely you're undermining the very thing you're trying to do. Because if you're trying to do this to help Elena and get her back to being a human, and then if you are scared to ask her because she would say no, then surely that goes back on the idea of what she wants. But I don't know, because I feel like she would want to become a human. Like, based on Elena's character and everything she's been through since becoming a vampire, I feel like it would be a no-brainer that she'd want to go back to being a human, but who fucking knows at this point?
Well, don't let me interrupt. I didn't know you were here. Clearly. By the breakup drama unfolding before me, I assume you've met Haley. Just leave him alone. I think you've got more important things to deal with, mate.
And secret meeting can begin.
You think you bought it?
Hell, I bought it.
Thanks for the heads up that he was here, Haley.
You girls are good liars.
Yeah, I was going to say, I do wonder if Haley does actually have feelings for him, though, which it seems as though she does.
Or maybe he didn't want to linger in a house where his sister just jammed a knife in his neck.
Yep.
I don't want to talk about it. Well, I can't imagine why, what with you ruining all my plans for a hybrid-filled future. Well, it wouldn't have happened if you hadn't sworn me to secrecy.
True.
Have the hallucinations started yet?
Oh, he knows? Because of course, if this is to do with killing a hunter, Klaus killed all of the others. So he's the one to go to about this.
If you prevent one from fulfilling his destiny, then he'll take you down with him. Connor's death won't prevent him from making Elena his final vampire kill.
Oh, fuck.
She'll take her own life before the day is out. She's stronger than that. Is she?
Stefan.
Believe me, it's for her own good.
Like, I understand what Stefan's saying and all that, and I'm all for having trust in your partner and thinking that they are stronger than anything. But if we're being realistic, this is a supernatural spell done by a witch. If Klaus knows how this works and he knows that she's going to take her life, fucking lock her up.
Damon.
Oh, no. Oh, fuck. Now that we can't trust.
We'll let her do the heavy lifting. Found her wandering the hallways with this.
Does Shane know about Jeremy, maybe? I mean, if he knows that Connor died, then if Connor did tell him, I don't know if he did, but if he told him that Jeremy could see his mark, then he could put 2 and 2 together and think that Jeremy is the next one, and that's why he's here.
How does Klaus know anything? Guy's like 1 billion years old.
He said it was a witch's curse.
You know, if I could do anything to help, I would.
For what?
The spirits won't let me do the magic I'd need to break the curse.
True.
But I can't ask Shane for help. He knows everything about everything.
Great.
Which, is that not suspicious, guys? How do you just randomly find this man who knows everything? I know he's he had a relation to Bonnie's grandmother, but...
For 52 years, 4 months and 9 days.
52 years.
So you knew that this would happen if Connor died. That's why you got involved.
You should have listened to him when he said he had it covered, love.
Klaus, I'm sorry, but if you make people swear to secrecy and then you don't tell anyone anything, they're not going to fucking listen to you, are they? Maybe if you were truthful, and yes, we know that Klaus had other intentions that he's not telling Elena right now, but if he knew about this curse, surely he could have used that as a cover for what him and Stefan were actually doing. Like, if he told Stefan that while we look for this cure, there's another side to it which you can use to make people understand why they shouldn't kill Connor, tell them about the curse, then that would have stopped everyone from killing him. Like, I just don't understand this logic.
What else does Stefan know?
Well, that's one of life's little mysteries, isn't it?
How did you make it stop?
Yeah, that's what I'm curious about.
I didn't.
Huh?
Eventually, it just stopped.
Huh?
Are you telling me that Chris isn't sired anymore?
That's exactly what he's telling you.
Oh, shit.
Clothes, toothbrush.
Please go away.
Go away quick, mate.
It was the worst thing that I've ever done.
You're lying. Tell the truth.
I am telling the truth.
You're lying.
I think there's two sides of it.
I liked it.
Yeah.
Are you sorry about your parents? They died because of you.
Holy shit. So it's gonna play on every single regret she's ever had.
You don't want to listen to me? Fine.
Who?
And how about you and I have a little chat? Do you miss me?
Oh, I've missed you. I know it's not actually her, but hell yeah.
That guy knew your dad.
Yeah, he taught a theology seminar at Whitmore last year.
So she does know him.
That Silas, that was his name, created a spell that would grant him immortality.
Interesting. We were literally discussing last episode. I love how I always say we, like you're talking to me. I'm just talking to myself. But do you know what I mean? Last episode, I was discussing how we never really got confirmation as to where Esther came up with this spell to create the original vampires. Because to me, the way that I always saw it was based on how the spell worked, because she named things. It was like, you get this from this, you get speed from this, you get immortality from this. It was like she was combining different spells. And I always wondered, if she was just combining things, who invented immortality? Who invented the ability to live forever? Because it seemed as though she didn't. It seemed like she combined immortality with other things, and that's what caused the positives and the negatives of being a vampire. But we never got confirmation as to where the immortality thing came from. So is that what this is? Are we actually discussing the original creator of immortality? Because that could be really interesting, which also begs the question, if they invented immortality, could they still be alive?
Sadly for Ketsia, Silas wanted to give immortality to another woman.
Oof.
Ketsia killed her and buried Silas alive, leaving
Damn.
him powerless, immortal, and alone.
So he could still be alive.
Now it's said that Silas wants to rise again, regain his power, wreak havoc on the world. Maybe we should be afraid.
This could just be like a little history seminar that they're playing, but I've learned through watching the Vampire Diaries that when you deal with legends and you deal with stuff like that, it's never fake. It's never mythology. There's some level of truth to it. And we're dealing with very powerful witch, immortality. Like, it just feels like they're hinting something to us. So I'm assuming that, given that we're only on episode 6 of season 4, perhaps we will be discovering Silas ourselves.
What does Stefan think of the new you? Shut up. It'll change you and it'll keep changing you until you're just like me. I am nothing like you. I was you before you even existed.
Oh, is he in Rick's chair? Oh, bro. Yeah, because we never got a continuation of Ghost Rick, did we? He was just there at his tombstone. We're going to see him again?
Do you know anything about the Hunter's curse?
Why, you got a dead hunter in the trunk of your car or something?
Metaphorically speaking.
He knows.
We'll be cursed to walk the earth in torment until
They die.
until the new hunters awakened and their legacies passed on.
Oh. The only way that you can really help Elena is to get Jeremy to fully become a hunter. Which, fuck, that's not good. But then does that not mean that he's currently a hunter? Because the way that I thought it was that while the guy's alive and talking to Jeremy, he's like, you have the potential to become a hunter. But once the mark is passed on, I assumed that meant Jeremy is now 1000% a hunter. He just needs to start killing vampires. That's how I saw it. But is it not there yet? Even though he has the mark, does it not mean that he's begun yet? Does he have to kill a vampire first?
Help us and then you can disappear. You'll be free.
Yeah, until Klaus sends one of his other hybrids after me.
Haley and I got your back. We'll make sure nothing happens.
How can you say that though?
Your very existence brings people nothing but pain. I mean, maybe it was worth it when you were worth it, but you're nothing now. You deserve to die.
Bless her fucking heart.
Elena.
Stefan, this isn't a good idea, bro.
Elena, stop!
Oh, Jesus Christ. And you've let her loose. I get why they did that, don't get me wrong. They don't want Klaus to have her, but until you know how to cure it, why try and release her? This is probably the best place for her, bro. Klaus isn't gonna want her to die. He wants her for the whole fucking blood thing with making new hybrids. I just don't think this was a smart move.
We figured out how to help her. You need to kill a vampire.
Oh, great. Give me a stick. I'll kill Damon right now.
Easy.
Now we have a bigger one. I lost her.
Yep.
I tried to help her, but she attacked me. Listen, you go find her, all right? Talk her down. She'll listen to you.
I get that it was all with good intentions, but that was just stupid.
So here's the thing. I came here to distract you so that Stefan could go to your house and break her out, which he did. And don't get mad, but then he lost her.
They figured out how to stop the hallucinations.
You have 10 seconds to tell me.
I'm scared that even if they break the curse, this stuff's still gonna haunt her, you know? Is she on the fucking bridge again? Is this Wickery Bridge? If it is, then holy fuck, what is wrong with this place?
It's okay, sweetie. I know what you're going through.
Oh no, this is gonna take a turn. She's gonna talk about you being a monster as well.
You were ready to die, remember? You know exactly what to do.
Throw the ring in the water. Just sit here and die.
The sun will come up and this will all be over.
What an interesting perspective, because it's kind of like the whole idea of positive and negative reinforcement, where you've got the negative reinforcement of them screaming at her like, you deserve to die, you're a monster, but then you have the positive reinforcement from her mother, which is like, you were ready to die, remember? You were meant to die. It's okay, sweetie. Come join us. Do you get what I mean? Like, it's like a drawing her in rather than pushing her over the edge, which is such an interesting way to do it. It's like the curse has a mind of its own and is realizing that maybe going at her with you're a monster, you deserve to die, isn't working. So it tried a different path, which is so interesting.
Because I'm a monster.
Oh, my darling.
I deserve to die.
Please don't tell me that even if they break this curse, she's still gonna have this opinion of herself, because that would make me so fucking sad. Shit.
I can't do this. I can't leave Jeremy.
Jeremy is better off without you. Don't you see that?
But Mom, he won't have anyone.
He'll have you. He'll be a ghost who helps him, not a monster who hurts him.
Wow, an interesting thing to think about.
Mommy, I didn't mean to disappoint you.
You were everything I ever wanted you to be.
Till.
But you died.
Yep.
Elena,
How did you find me?
didn't take a genius to figure it out.
I can't live with myself.
The sun will be up soon. It's almost over.
Has he just noticed?
Where's your ring, Elena?
You're doing a good thing, Chris.
Yeah, well, let's see how fast a good thing can get me out of town.
Call me when you're safe, okay?
I feel like Klaus is about to come by and sweep this man dead. Oh no.
Going somewhere?
Oh no.
Your existence is to serve me, to please me. Do you understand?
I'm sorry. I won't fail you again.
No, you won't.
Is he gonna kill him?
Get out of here.
Is he gonna kill him? I'm scared that he's gonna turn around and kill him.
No!
Is that Jeremy? Oh, Stefan.
Jeremy?
I'm a little confused. Why did Stefan stake him when Jeremy needs to kill him? Is it because Stefan didn't fully kill him, but Jeremy's there to chop the head off? Yeah, because he was holding the axe. Okay, I understand now.
What the hell, man?
And we have a hunter. Is she still going to want to kill herself? This is my worry. Fuck. Fuck. Where's some shade? Like in the tree lines? In the water. Interesting. Will the water diminish the effects of the sun? Maybe hold her down until he found the ring. Okay.
I can remember everything, but not like I lived it, like it was a really bad dream.
So these are things aren't still haunting her, are they?
Well, you know what they say about teenage suicide. Don't do it.
I wonder where he was going with that. Oh, the hand holding. Oh.
I am about to take a very high and annoying road and tell you something.
What, the truth? He's gonna tell her about the cure.
Rough patch that you two have been going through is not what you think. Everything that he's been doing for you.
Yeah, because that's the thing. At the end of the day, he's doing it to try and help her. And I do understand that. My issue is that it has come up quite a few times where keeping a secret from Elena or keeping a secret from Stefan, I feel like they've kept them from each other, has caused a huge drift in their relationship, which I feel like if it's happened before, surely you would know that it's going to happen again and you wouldn't keep something like this from her. But then Klaus did swear him to secrecy and he might have been scared that Klaus would hurt someone if he found out. So it's a hard one to juggle. It's just frustrating when it's happened before. That's why I've been getting so annoyed. But everything he's doing, he is doing for Elena, so.
There may be a way out of this for you, Elena. There may be a cure.
Tyler.
Yeah, it fucking sucks for Tyler and her that their friend was the sacrifice.
I told him we had his back.
We needed to help our friend.
Yeah, we helped our friend by handing over another friend.
And Chris wasn't.
Yeah.
Chris was a friend. He's like me. How did you even get Klaus to agree to give up one of his hybrids?
She told him he was on
I
side.
agreed to go on a date with him.
Caroline?
What the hell is going on?
Just celebrating the life of a fallen hybrid friend.
Jesus fucking Christ. I feel like I need a moment to like process after that, because I love the Vampire Diaries because it's really good at giving you a really emotional scene and then just fading away to another scene, and it's just like, hold the fuck up. I need like a moment to like calm down from that, because holy shit, I mean, Tyler's very valid in his feelings. Caroline came in there with a very bad approach. I don't know what other approach she could have had. Like, I'm not sitting here saying you should have done this, Caroline, but going in there saying we had to do it to help our friend when that guy was Tyler's friend. It's like, fucking sucks, bro. Tyler is very valid in his feelings right now, especially the whole fucking date thing. Like, Jesus Christ, Caroline.
Still saving a spot for Mr. Saltzman, huh?
Salmon. Market for a new drinking buddy?
But I dug up some stuff about the explosion at the Young farm that I kind of need to tell someone about.
What? Tell me.
So April mentioned that her dad knew that Professor Shane guy. And we live in a town where, you know, anybody who knows stuff...
That's what I'm saying.
...is creepy until proven otherwise.
That's what I'm saying. He knows everything. Why?
And on the day that the council got blown up at the farm, he called it 10 times. The office of Professor Atticus Shane.
Bonnie, run.
But let me just say one thing. When he completes his mark, you're gonna want to come to me.
Why?
Because I'm gonna be the only one who can help. Trust me on that, okay?
I have thoughts. I'll discuss them at the end.
Damon told me that he glued you in.
You didn't kill him, did you?
Nah, screw Klaus and his secrets.
Hell yeah.
Why did you send Damon?
Oh, we're going there.
I sent him because lately
You and I haven't been able to communicate well.
it seems like he's able to get through to you in ways that I can't.
I unfortunately agree with that.
I mean, after everything that we've been through, you can admit it.
Damn.
Because I'd like nothing more than to get her back. The girl that she's become. that I've become is different, somehow darker. What I want.
What you want, who you want.
Sorry to pause in this scene, because I know it's a very emotional and important one, but I just want to get my thoughts out there. The way that I have seen Elena change when she became a vampire is that I think that human Elena was definitely more suited to Stefan only because she had human values. And I mean that to say, not that Elena doesn't have human values anymore, but when you turn into a vampire, you will no longer age. You will no longer be able to have children. You will no longer grow old and die. Those are like key cornerstone points in many, many people's lives. The idea of making a family, of growing old together, of like knowing that you're getting older and you're coming to a certain age, maybe moving to somewhere else. You can spend the rest, like the last years of your life in a new location. Do you get what I mean? Like, so much of our lives is planned on time. So when you take that away, it's only natural that your perspective of life and your very being will change, because your values will change, your wants will change, because you're no longer on a strict time limit. And it's not even that it's a time limit, it's that it's a different way of living. It's a completely different way of living. Like, the idea that I'm going to grow old and die, that will be a motivator for you in so many ways. And knowing that you are immortal, you are going to have the rest of eternity alive, essentially. That's such an interesting perspective to have. And of course, that would change your opinion on so many things. And this idea of bloodlust and the idea of enjoying killing people, it is going to change you to a certain degree. So I don't necessarily think that it's a whole like human Elena was for Stefan and vampire Elena's for Damon. But I do think that her values have changed, and not only her values, just the way she sees her life and the way she sees herself enjoying life has changed now. And I don't necessarily think that Stefan can fit in with that anymore. It's just such an interesting concept that at one singular moment in your life, everything will change. Like, everything. You go from having all of the ideas of having a family, growing old, to none of that. And you have to rework what you want, what you expect out of life, what you're going to get in the future, you know? But anyway, back to this. Sorry for rambling.
Something's changed between Damon and me. Much more than it ever used to be.
Feels like Damon's changed as well.
It's like everything that I felt for him before I was a vampire.
It's been magnified.
Yeah, that as well.
Your feelings for him have been magnified.
Is this them breaking up?
You know, before when I was the Ripper, I mean, I practically drove you to it. But now,
yeah, fuck.
I can't do this, Elena. Not anymore.
I respect that so much.
I know.
Wow. Huge respect to Stefan. Holy shit. Damn. What an ending. I need a few moments to like gather my thoughts after that, because that was an emotional ending. So yes, there we have season 4, episode 6 of The Vampire Diaries. And that was a great episode in interesting ways, because when you take into consideration some of the episodes we've had in the past, not a lot happened. Like, it was a very contained episode. It was all within Mystic Falls. It was mostly to do with Elena having these hallucinations and how to get back from it. But it dealt with a lot of interesting relationships between everyone and how times are changing, you know? So let's talk about... I'm going to leave the heavy hitters for the end. Let's talk about Tyler and Caroline, because it's very interesting, because I don't like she went in there to talk to Klaus under false pretenses and trying to distract him. But when Klaus was talking about wanting to keep Caroline safe, there was an element of her that I think was being truthful in the, like, you wanted to keep me safe, that kind of feeling. And I don't like that. I don't like that. I'm sorry if you like the idea of Caroline and Klaus, but I fucking hate it, because I adore and love Caroline. She's my favorite character for the rest of time. But I do not like Klaus. I do not like how he treats people. I do not like how he uses these hybrids only because they are sire bound to him. And he is so scared of people leaving him, and he's got so many things to work through that the only people he can keep close to him are people that are supernaturally bound to him. Like, he staked Rebecca and tucked her away in a little box somewhere just because she turned against him. Like, it's so fucking frustrating. So the idea of my favorite character going to someone like Klaus, no. I'm not happy with that. And this whole date thing is making me feel very uncomfortable because I feel like, I don't know if this is their intention, but I'm getting the vibe that the writers want me to like Caroline and Klaus, which I do not. So I guess we will see where that goes. Now, in terms of Tyler and Caroline, like I said before, I don't know how she could have. I think it's just one of those things that you have to work through. But her going in there and being like, we had to do it to save our friend, it's just not the vibe when saving your friend killed Tyler's friend. You know what I mean? And yeah, we didn't know this guy very well. We don't know what level Tyler's friendship ran with him, but it's still a friend no matter what. And it was still an innocent man. So it just fucking sucks. And I do wonder if this could potentially be the end of Tyler and Caroline, which is why I'm more scared about the whole Klaus thing, because they're giving the vibe that Tyler and Caroline might break up because of this, because some things you just can't get through. And if that's so, yikes, because I am not ready for Klaus and Caroline to be together. I mean, maybe if Klaus has some major changes, maybe I'll like him, but right now, no. Now, moving on from them, let's talk about Jeremy and Elena's relationship here, because they hold a lot of love for each other, and when you're dealing with all of this supernatural stuff, I do think it would be easier for Jeremy to get over the whole stabbing in the neck thing, because he knows that it wasn't intentional. Like, Elena didn't go in there being like, I'm gonna stab Jeremy, you know what I mean? Like, it was obviously her hallucinating and having issues. So I'm glad that he understood that, because I was worried that he would not necessarily within his own will hold it against her because of the whole Hunter's Mark thing. However, he did, like, when he was running over to Bonnie and Stefan after they called about Elena, he did seem genuinely worried and showed that he had love for her. So I'm glad that we saw that. But that being said, I am a little scared about the fact that they have activated the mark now, because, like, what does that mean? Is he going to suddenly get urges to kill vampires? Is he going to want to do what Elena did to him this episode? Like, just every time he sees her, stab her in the neck? Like, what is going to go on here? Now, the other thing I'm very curious about is the whole, once the mark is complete, you're going to want to come to me, because that does imply that Jeremy is going to kill more vampires, which does lead down the route of him wanting to, which is interesting. But it's not like apart from the hybrids, it's not like we just have a random group of vampires hanging out in Mystic Falls that he can kill. It's either he's going to kill hybrids or our core group of characters, which I don't think that they would do that, but who fucking knows at this point? Maybe they will have someone go out by death of Jeremy, you know? Now, right. I have a theory that I'm going to save for the very end, because I think we should delve into Elena, Stefan, and Damon before I get into that. So I am, like I explained at the end of the episode, I do have my own opinions on who Elena should be with at these two different points in her life. I don't necessarily, the thing that I want to make clear is that I don't think that Elena being a vampire is why she belongs with Damon. It was only when she was human that she could be with Stefan. The reason I think that vampire Elena, and this is my problem, it's because I'm saying vampire Elena. This is where I'm having an issue within myself. Current Elena, this is what I want to say. Current Elena, I think, is more suited towards Damon. Past Elena was more suited towards Stefan. Because current Elena, she's been through a lot, and especially with this killing of a human, that was a lot as well. But then you take the party at the university or college. I get them so mixed up when I'm watching American TV. The party that they were having at the college, where Elena and Damon were dancing around with blood all over them. Yes, Elena felt shame when she saw Bonnie, but she did genuinely enjoy herself. And I think that the personality changes that Elena has gone through since becoming a vampire have sort of led her to be more compatible with Damon. And it's not just that Elena's become more compatible with Damon. I think Damon has become more compatible with Elena because he seems so much more mellow nowadays. Do you get what I mean? I think it is, I think a bit of the fear for Elena's life has faded slightly simply because they must view humans as quite weak. Like, vampires are super strong, they're also immortal, like, you would view human beings as weaker. So perhaps since becoming a vampire, he sees her in a different light, and he sees her as more like him, and within his mind, because obviously, I'm sure he went through the same issues of, she must think I'm a monster, whereas now that she's on the same level playing field with him, it's taken away a lot of the differences between them, and they've become a lot more similar to one another. So I think it has changed Damon as well. He comes across as a lot more mellow. He thinks things through a lot more. He's more in touch with his emotions as well, which is very interesting. And I really like that. And I also like how much he stood up for Stefan in this episode and how he was taking the high ground, as he said, and telling Elena the truth as to why Stefan was being good to her. Because I think in the past, it's felt very icky when the brothers have sort of used each other against each other for the sake of trying to win Elena, which has felt so icky. Whereas now they kind of just left it up to Elena and to see what she wants, which is really nice to see. Now, speaking of Elena and Stefan and the scene on the steps, that was the single most proudest moment I've had about Stefan. Like, holy shit, the courage and the strength within yourself to say, I can't do this anymore. I love you. I want to be with you. You are potentially the love of my life, but I can't do this anymore. It's hurting me so much that you're so torn between us two. And I'm sure that all of this, pick whoever you want to pick, Elena, she picks Stefan, and now the whole Damon thing's coming up again. I'm sure that is really cut deep. And like Stefan said, the fact that when he was a Ripper, he fully understood it. He was driving her away. He understood why she would go for Damon, and it was kind of like it was justifying it within himself. Whereas now that he is being his true self, and she still can't pick him, that must feel so fucking terrible. And it must feel so hurtful to think, like, I'm not enough. I'm simply not enough for her. Which is so sad, and I'm so glad for him that he has been honest with himself and gone, I can't do it anymore. It's not something that is possible for me. So even though I love you, we can't keep this going, and I think we need to break up, which is what I took from that scene. I took that as, I'm done. Like, I do still love you, and potentially they could still be friends and all that, but I can't do this anymore. This whole charade of who is Elena gonna pick, you know? Which, mad props to Stefan. Well fucking done. But yeah, anyway, moving on. What was the thing I wanted to talk about? Oh, my theory. So, they introduced earlier the whole talk about Silas and... Fuck, what was that witch's name? Quatisha? I know it began with a Q. Well, the thing is, because I have subtitles on, I remember seeing the name, reading it, and then they said it, and it sounded nothing like the way I was reading it. So I think it's going to take a while until I get that, like, down in my head. But they were talking about a powerful witch and Silas, and how she locked him away in a tomb so that his immortality was kind of used against him. Like, hell yeah, you can live forever, but get fucked, you're stuck in a tomb now. So the way that I'm seeing it is, the way that Professor Shane described it was that Silas wants to come out. And Professor Shane has based his entire exhibit on this. So it implies that he's obsessed with this Silas person. And when you take that, and you take the idea of this map leading to a tomb with the cure for immortality, surely the person who invented immortality would know the cure, which he literally said in that talk, Silas invented immortality. Silas is in a tomb. We have a map to a location for a cure. Why would the map not lead to Silas? That's the way I'm seeing it. And I think that the Vampire Diaries has this kind of... It has this track record. I love it, by the way. It has this track record of having a situation where you are looking for something, but it's not what it appeared to be, but it is still that thing. Like, they are looking for a cure for vampirism, so they're expecting to go there and find a spell or find a vial of a solution that would be a cure that you just drink. Whereas you're actually going to find the creator who will be able to undo it. Do you get what I mean? Like, I fucking love that kind of storytelling where they didn't lie, the curse didn't lie, but it was kind of muddled up in history, where a story's passed on mouth to mouth to the point where it's like the creator of immortality's in a cave, and then it finally gets to, there's a cure somewhere on this map. Do you get what I mean? Like, very interesting, and I'm really excited to explore that. I'm excited to get into the history of what this whole cure thing is, because if this is Silas, and we are going to be dealing with someone who created immortality before the originals even existed, that's a whole new level of history. Like, the oldest beings that we know are the originals, and they came from way back in time when everyone discovered the new world. So who is this Silas potentially going to be? Like, they wouldn't have set this up if they weren't going to introduce him, and that just seems like the most likely story that they would go down. So I'm sticking to that. I'm hoping that that's what this is, and it's not just like a spell, because I think that could be so much more interesting. But yes, anyway, with that said, I believe that covers everything I wanted to talk about, so let's move on to Patreon questions. Right, first up, what do you think of the last scene? Why her feelings for Damon were magnified but not the ones for Stefan? Thank you for asking that. I forgot to talk about the magnification line. I think that is very interesting, because I always stuck to the opinion that when Elena chose Stefan, I did not see it as her making an actual choice within herself, being so truthfully honest with herself that that is who she wants to be with. I didn't see it like that. The way I saw it was, she was equally torn between the two. She was having mixed feelings. She didn't know who she wanted to pick, but there was a level of gratitude and kind of, she owed Stefan something for everything that he had done for her. And I don't think that that was a conscious thought. I don't think that she thought to herself, I need to pick Stefan because of everything he's done for me. I think it was more of a subconscious feeling that, why would I not pick Stefan, you know? Whereas now that she's had to deal with the reality of becoming a vampire and all that, and the magnification of her feelings, it's become a lot harder. It's become a lot harder for her to deny these feelings that she's had for Damon, and for her to just push them away because they're magnified. Like, she's going to be feeling them a lot more. And as we saw on the bed scene, I feel like that's the most affectionate we've seen Elena all season. And I'm talking between her and Stefan and her and Damon. Like, she was truly so thankful and loving towards Damon. And it just, I think that it's her true feelings coming to light. And I do think that she has feelings for Stefan. I do think she loves him. I just don't know whether they're as strong as her ones for Damon at this point. So I guess we'll see where we go next episode, because we kind of need to see the resolution between Stefan and Elena, and whether this is the end of them, and if she is going to pursue something with Damon. Right, next up, do you think Elena's problem with miscommunication with Stefan was her way to push him away, or was she genuinely annoyed with him for not being open with her once again, and that was the last straw? I think it's both, but I do think it's more so her using it as a front. Her using it as a way to take her emotions out on him, because I think that part of it was the miscommunication thing, just because it's happened so many times with those two that keeping secrets from one another just never ends well. So I do think that that played a part of it, but I think that the reason that that was causing emotion is why she sort of piggybacked her other emotions on top of it, because it's been clear that the reason that Elena has struggled so much with figuring out who she likes more, I don't know if you could even say that, but you get what I mean, who she wants to be with, is that she does love them both, and by loving one, you're hurting the other. So it was always easier to be with Stefan, but now that her feelings have been heightened, it's at the point where it's like, is it enough? Is it enough to have the love that I have for Stefan, or do I need to be with Damon? Do I need to explore that kind of love as well? Because I don't know. I don't know what she's feeling right now. It does seem like she has more feelings for Damon than Stefan. I hate to say it. It's a hard thing to like say because you just feel bad for him. But at the end of the day, it's the evidence that we have. It seems like it's got to the point where she is ashamed of her feelings, like she was ashamed of the party that they had at the college and like drinking the blood. And when she looked at Bonnie, she realized what she had done. It's that kind of shame and guilt that she's just been carrying around with her about her feelings for Damon. And I think that the fact it's been magnified has is at the point now where she can't control it. She can't just keep lying. She's going to have to act on those feelings. And it's sad to see because you feel bad for Stefan, but she feels what she feels and there's nothing she can do about that. So I think that after seeing how well he handled it this episode, I think that Stefan does understand that. And I hope that they can end this with mutual respect and love for each other, you know? Because I don't see them continuing, honestly. Like, I know that we didn't really get a full confirmation, but the way I saw that scene was the end of Stefan and Elena, because I don't really see them coming back from that kind of talk, you know? Now, the second part of that question, in your opinion, did they split up because she has feelings for Damon, or because she developed feelings for Damon as Stefan doesn't have what she wants and Damon does? Interesting. I mean, I do think that she had feelings for Damon from the beginning. In terms of developed feelings for him because Stefan doesn't have what she wants, I think that part of that is true. I think that that's another reason why they have grown a lot closer this season, because Stefan being a Ripper, he can't control himself like the other vampires can. And yes, it's not like he's doing it on purpose. Like, it's something that he physically can't control. But in Elena exploring her vampirism and how Damon had to be the one to help her and all of that, it's that level of Stefan can't be there for her in those moments, whereas Damon always can. And not only can he wants to be. So I do think that that would have drawn her towards Damon a bit more. And I do think that that is probably why her feelings are so magnified, because he's been there for her in these moments. Like vampire Stefan was there for human Elena. Whereas we get to the future now, and because Stefan can't handle it as he's a Ripper, Damon is the one that's had to help Elena through this. So it's kind of like we're dealing with two different people in who Elena is. It's like that was her old life, this is her new life. And it's kind of like things are repeating, but with Damon rather than Stefan, which is sad to see. But like I said, Stefan's aware of it, and he said that he can't do it anymore. So fucking props to him. And I just hope that they can end things well. Like, that's the main thing that I'm really focused on right now. I don't want Stefan to have to move away. I would understand it, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't know how I would fucking handle a situation like this. And I do think my emotions would get the better of me and I'd have to move away for at least a little bit. But I hope Stefan doesn't, because I don't want him to be out of the show, you know? Now, moving on, next up, Stefan asks Damon to go over and speak to Elena because he thinks Damon is the only one that can get through to her. How do you feel about this, and how did Stefan realize this? How did Stefan realize this? I didn't really take that into consideration, the whole, like, when did Stefan come to this realization? I think it's just been a thing over time, because I think even in the past when she was a human, there were times when Damon could get to her when Stefan couldn't. And now that we've come into season 4, and obviously Damon has been there a lot more for Elena than Stefan was able to, I think that part of it might be insecurities, part of it might be that Damon... No, wait, oh my god, I always get them mixed up. Part of it might be that Stefan just thinks that with the amount of time that they've had together and the bonding that they've had, it would lead her to have more feelings for Damon, but I don't know. I feel like Damon's always had a special way to Elena and a special way of speaking to Elena and understanding her, and he does help her out in so many situations, and that's not going to go blindly to Stefan. Like, he's not going to be able to not see that. He can clearly see that when Damon goes to talk to Elena, a lot of the time he does calm her down, and he does bring her to see the light. So I think that this is just something that's built over time, and Stefan's just slowly come to... I think it's built over time, but it's only recently that Stefan's truly sat down and thought, okay, this is happening. I understand. And obviously with his knowledge of the fact that feelings are magnified, it would be something that he's paying attention to. He would always be watching how she's behaving around Damon. So I do think it's just a natural, over time, he started to hook in and realize what was going on, you know? Which is sad. Like, I do genuinely feel really bad for Stefan with all of this, because he's kind of just been I don't want to say been left in the dust, because like that seems too harsh. Like it's not like Elena's just been like, haha, bye Stefan, fuck you, you know what I mean? Like she is genuinely just trying to figure out what she wants, but that doesn't make it any easier for him, so I do feel really bad for him. Right, next up, Elena for the first time is happy about Damon saving her. She's being thankful, and Damon interrupts her because he wants to tell her that Stefan is not doing anything wrong. Why do you think that Damon always stops Elena in moments when she's focused solely on him and getting close to him to remind her about Stefan? I think that it's two things. I think that it's one, a defense mechanism, and two, because he does genuinely feel bad for his brother. Like, at the end of the day, yeah, he loves Elena and he wants to be with Elena, but the other person in all of this is his brother, and he's gonna feel bad for him. So I think that the self-defense part is because he, although he really wants to be with Elena and he loves her, a part of him is always scared to get close to people because he would get hurt. Like, you think of Rose and how Damon was starting to get a lot closer to her, and then she was just taken away from him. Like, and even Alaric, his best friend, was just taken away from him. And when you get close to someone and you rely on someone, you bond with them. And when that bond is broken, you feel so fucking lost. And we've seen so many times where that feeling, that not necessarily betrayal, but more so hurt. I think a bit of betrayal is mixed in because you feel betrayed by them leaving you, even though they died, you know? But I think that it's always sent Damon over the edge. Like, he doesn't control his emotions well. Obviously, we know vampires' emotions are heightened, so a human being who doesn't control their emotions well, God knows what they would do when they become a vampire. So I think that he is very, very weary of getting close to people, and it's his way of deflecting. It's like she's finally showing love to him, and he's like, oh God, no, like, we can't have this just in case something goes wrong. So he throws back Stefan to her so that she has to back off a bit and she can't get as close to him as she and he wanted her to, you know? But the other part is that genuinely, I think he does just feel bad because this is his brother and he doesn't want him to just take Elena and be like, haha, get fucked, Stefan, and run away, you know? So it's a very interesting dynamic. It's a dynamic I've never seen explored before. Two immortal brothers now, well, originally going for a human partner and now a vampire partner who's also immortal. It's such a unique story that I really appreciate them exploring, you know? Now, the connecting part to that question, I wanted to get my thoughts out of the way and then lead into this. So, is it to defend his brother solely, or is it because he doesn't want Elena to ever be in the dark? He wants her to know the complete truth of the situation and only then make her decisions. It has to be real or nothing. I think that is another part of it as well, because he has seen how the miscommunication between her and Stefan has just, like, it's torn them apart at times. And I think that he understands that. And he doesn't want to lie to Elena. He doesn't want to always be the one holding the secrets and never being able to tell the truth. So he just does it because he wants things to be out in the air. And he doesn't want to lose Elena the way that Stefan lost Elena, because even though she does love Damon, and even though I think that is the driving force as to why her and Stefan may not belong together, you cannot deny that they do have their relationship problems. Every relationship has its problems, and I think the miscommunication was always a problem with them. Not just this time. I can't give you examples because my memory is fucked, but I know that I have vivid deja vu whenever I talk about the miscommunication between Elena and Stefan, that it has happened many times before. So I think that Damon has just been so aware of this and he doesn't want that to happen as well. But I do think that the main driving force is that he's scared to get hurt, so he doesn't let her get too close to him before having confirmation that she's his, if you get what I mean. Now, moving on from there, because I feel like I've talked for way too long, what are your thoughts seeing Elena's hallucinations of Connor, Catherine, and her mother? How did it make you feel witnessing Elena's subconscious? It was a very interesting perspective. I loved how they did the mother scenes, because it's like I was saying earlier, it's kind of like this spell hijacked her subconscious and was working together with her brain to try and figure out the best way to get Elena to kill herself. So it started off on the general route. You're a monster. You deserve to die. I'm going to kill you. You killed me. You feel bad for that. Why would you want to be alive? Like, just off yourself. You know what I mean? It was very much just trying to play into those things, Whereas as that started to not, well, it's not like it started to not work. It's kind of like Elena was working through those things, and the fact that the Jeremy thing was on her mind and not leaving him, I think that that was the thing that was keeping her alive the most. So the spell in her brain tried a different route and thought, can we try a more positive point of view? Can we try a more like, I love you, come join me, Elena. You were meant to die here twice. Jeremy will be fine. He can see ghosts. You can be with him as a ghost. Like, it was a different way of handling Elena, and I think it was the better way of handling Elena, because no one way is going to work with everyone. It's the same with any way in life. Like, even in terms of learning, no one way of learning is the same for everyone. So no one way of convincing someone to kill themselves is going to work with everyone. Like, the spell has to adjust, and I think that that's what happened there. It adjusted to be more emotional, because Elena is a very emotional person. She's a very caring person. So to play on those caring attributes of, you can look after Jeremy as a pure soul, I think that that is what really tipped her over the edge, and that was the way that the spell got her in the end. It's like it took time to learn her and then found the right way to do it, which I fucking loved. But yes, there we have it. Season 4, episode 6. Another cracking episode. Really enjoyed it. We had some good character development for everyone involved. I'm very excited for next episode, because we're going to be exploring the potential relationship between Elena and Damon, depending where Elena and Stefan go. I saw that as a breakup, but who knows? Maybe they can work through it. We've got Caroline and Tyler on the rocks, because Caroline's agreed to a date with Klaus, which I'm not happy about. And we also have the exploration of Jeremy fully becoming a vampire hunter. So very excited for all of that and to see where the story goes. So yes, with that said, thank you very much for watching. I've left a link down below to my Patreon, where you'll find the early and uncut reactions to the Vampire Diaries and all the other shows that I do. I've also left a link to my Twitch, my Discord, and my socials, so be sure to follow them if you are interested. And yes, thank you very much for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Bye-bye.